Come on, let's go. You ready? I
Yeah.
gotta make sure the messages are rolling.
Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah. All
All right, ready to lock in?
Yes, yes.
12 o'clock?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it. All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. As usual, if we cut out during this stream, just hang tight. We'll try to get it back up. If it cuts out completely, just hang out for a couple minutes, go back to the channel, whatever, and we'll start a part two. I only say that because our internet connection here on this island in which we live is sometimes shady, to say the least, okay?
Yes.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. It's always appreciated. Not necessary, but appreciated, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hopefully everybody is doing well. There's a lot to talk about today, believe it or not. And as always, we're going to start the show as usual with shout outs and thank yous and statements and so forth. All right. So do you want to start with yours?
About what? To say,
Shout outs.
Well, I was gonna say hi to everybody on here. Ellis Fire, This Guy 1000, Wild Life, Sinisa, Winning Chia, Gaza. Are you the one that emailed me? Mitrovic. And Gene. Yeah, it is actually.
Let's go. It's okay. It's okay. We'll tread lightly. All right. A couple shout outs for me to start. Number one, always to Gene Swart. Gene Swart just turned 18. He's in South Africa. He's a very brilliant young man and a bright future ahead. And thank you for doing your moderating. You've done a great job. I think we may have called the dogs off too soon on a couple of people. So keep your eyes on that and block at will.
Block at will.
Block at will. Also, Gene, let us know when you get your bank account set up. We will send you that $100 US.
Hey, Rahesh.
Rahesh, thank you. I hope he sticks through here because I have some Rahesh nuggets here today. But let us know when you get your bank account set up. I'm not sure what the conversion rate is in South Africa to the US dollar. Doesn't matter. I'll send you $100 US. However that works for you, just let us know, and we'll continue to do that as you continue to do the work. You shouldn't work for free ever for anybody. Number two, shout out to Sister to Queen. Sister to Queen helped us with the segment we're going to do today on Novak Djokovic and his incredible records. Sister to Queen is female. I know a lot of you out there have taken time out to contact Carla and say that you just despise women's tennis and we shouldn't do what other YouTube channels don't do. I just want to
not only that, that's my whole thing about logic about women give birth. A woman gave birth to you.
Yeah.
We should talk about women's tennis.
I just want to say this, guys and gals out there, we have been around this game since we were born. Our parents were into it when they were born. It goes back generations. There is no difference to us, whether it's a male player or a female player. It's totally equal. In our opinion, right now, the women's field is deeper, and we will continue to do that. We have gotten messages, hey, well, this channel doesn't do it. That channel doesn't do it. Then why do you waste your time and do it? I'm not following anybody, are we? We're going to continue to do it, and a lot of times we'll do women's first. And we usually always do that because where we come from, women are to be treated with respect. And we hold doors open. They eat first, they sit down first, and so forth. I won't get into that, but nonetheless, we will continue to do women's tennis, and we're not worried at all about subscriber count. Tennis is an international language. We've talked about airports that we've been through, and people will approach us. Hey, you play tennis? I can tell by the way you walk or talk. It's an international language. It's an international family, and if you don't think women's tennis is part of that, then this is the wrong channel for you, right?
Yeah, I'm just shocked at some of the viewers that. To think that women's tennis sucks. What are you telling these young girls? Tennis sucks, so don't even play the sport because we're not going to watch you because you're a woman. I mean, we're like in 2021, guys. There are women out there that can do the same thing as you guys do. I mean, your mentality has to change because you're telling a girl that we don't live in certain countries. We live here in the U.S., thank God. You know, yeah. I mean, I just think it's crazy. I tell my girls they can do whatever a boy can do. I mean, it's equal.
You know who one of my role models is in life? Does anyone remember the young girl? I think she was in Afghanistan, and some people boarded like a school bus and like burned her face up. What was her name? Mahela or something like that? These are the people that are my role models. Young girls, young women fighting for equality, fighting for what they believe in. That's what motivates me. Why am I going to go get my master's degree to go teach? Because I want to be involved in the people that are fighting for equality. And that's what we're about. Enough said.
Mitrovic, I agree. My contractor sucks more than anything, but which is why I'm like, we're supposed to move in back April 1st, by the way. And I'm logging everything, what they do every day. Like at this time, they went at this time, and then they left at this time.
So, he's talking about the house.
Yeah.
So Mitrovic actually asked us about our well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, bro.
Well, he said only thing sucks more than WTA is your contractor. I'll take that as a joke, but the contractor does suck. He sucks bad.
And in case you don't know, we had our house destroyed during a hurricane. We were supposed to be back in it long ago, and thank goodness for the church that we belong to, because they let us use their building for these shows. We hope to be back in our home April the 1st, and we will get back into our studio hopefully then, but I'm not counting my chickens. All right. Mm-hmm. Next shout out and last one to a Ryan Mason. I vented on last show about an altercation I got into with another high school coach. And I asked if I was wrong. He was another high school coach and said, no, I definitely was not wrong. And he would have done the same thing. So thanks to Ryan Mason for that. All right. Let's get into topic number one. Mm-hmm. All right. This has to do with the incredible accomplishment. And I mean a truly incredible accomplishment by Novak Djokovic. After our last show, Sister the Queen, by the way, who is female, who's African-American, who is on the West Coast, and is one of the most well-written people you will ever meet in your entire life, and one of the biggest and most staunch tennis fans you will ever meet in her life. She travels internationally with her mother to see the biggest matches on the biggest stages, whether it's at Wimbledon, the ATP Finals, whether it's US Open or Australian, she's there. Don't take her messages with a grain of salt. And by the way, this female that's African American is also the one that made this segment more complete. Okay, let's get Sister the Queen's comment.
I don't know, Mitrovic. Why don't you ask her if she's hot? I don't know.
And
we'll talk about that too. There's a little topic.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. And by the way, we're gonna get the Djokovic segment out first, because I know that's what you all want. But as we get later on in the show, we're going to be talking about the state of current education in the United States and globally, or we're going to be talking about a lot of things that may not have to do with the tennis court, and a lot of you may leave. But again, we do this channel because we don't particularly care if we have 1 million subscribers or 10. We just want to have 10 people or 1 million that are like family that we can talk to and speak with, and we're like-minded.
And we don't have to agree. We can,
and
as long as it's done professionally. And there's many of you guys that I get a lot. I mean, that I chat with a lot that we don't agree in a lot, but that's okay.
But it's still a great chat.
It's still a great chat.
And by the way, some of the other YouTube channels that some of you mentioned, well, they don't do it. Why do you do it? Carla, when the COVID-19 pandemic started, we did a Jeopardy show. I won't mention any names. There's no need to, because it's cheesy. But we sat down and we were doing these Jeopardy shows. Within a couple of days, someone contacted me and said, hey, there's this kid out there that's doing your exact thing that you just did, and all your same topics and everything. We were flattered by it, but never cared about it. So with that said, we're not really terribly worried about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Sister the Queen's comment. Let's go.
She says, hola. In fairness to Djokovic, I think his #1 record should get his own segment on the next show. I think it is one of the great achievements in tennis. Sadly for him, we are in the pandemic year. The rankings are wonky, and he isn't getting the full measure of celebration that he deserves. As a Fed fan, I am sad to see his record go, but Fed still has a record of 237 consecutive weeks at #1, and the record as the oldest #1. I was wondering how you both rank #1 stats, i.e. total weeks, consecutive weeks, and year-end #1. I find them all insanely impressive and right under Grand Slams. Now, in fairness to Nadal, he pulled out of Rotterdam with his back, and the tournament director of Acapulco has said that it was also his back that made him pull out of the event. Big picture, I don't see Federer, Nadal, or Novak playing much until the European clay swing.
It's a great comment. And not only is that her only great comment, every time she writes one, she's very busy, but when she has time to watch one of the shows, she always takes time to write a very eloquent statement. Mm-hmm. Carla, how do you categorize majors and everything else?
I've always said to me, I'm not much of the statistic. I respect the records being broken. I respect them. It's hard to be #1 this amount of weeks, or win this many slams, or win this many masters. For me, the majors are always, no matter what you guys say, the most important thing. But you've got to respect all those records for sure.
There's for me, there's quite a few records that approximate majors. To all of us that are fans that follow the game every single day, whether it's the off season or not, we're still dissecting statistics and so forth, and games and thinking strategy. For the layman fan or the layman historian that's not born yet, they're going to go to their search engine, or when I was a kid, encyclopedia, and they're going to look up, tennis or best of all time, and that count is going to be done by majors. We may all disagree with it, but for the common sports fan, not just tennis fan, the common sports fan moving forward 30 years from now, they're going to look back and they're going to look up one thing: who has the most championships? Most people think Michael Jordan is the greatest because he has 6 titles. They don't necessarily look at who's the other one, not Wilt Chamberlain, Bill. There's someone that has 10 majors. I forget what his name is. Not Dr. J, but the other guy. Anyway, but in time, people look back at
Bill Russell? No.
Bill
No,
Russell,
is
yes.
that it?
Did someone
Okay.
say that?
Yeah, Wildlife. I
Thank
don't
you,
know.
Wildlife One. Bill Russell, yes, I think he has 10. But he doesn't get a lot of recognition for that because he was the only brother that was playing around a bunch of shorties, right?
Mhm.
So I think that ties into it. Jordan did it around the best of the best. I think Bill Russell did it around where he was the one best of the best. Does that make any sense?
Mhm.
Anyway, let's look at Roger Federer for a second. We're going back to Djokovic for sure because this is his segment, number one. But Roger Federer, number one, hasn't played in 12 months.
Yeah.
There has been a rating system or a ranking system change that has benefited Roger again. In my opinion, I hate to say it, I'm a Fed fan too, but I think it's bullshit because all this does, and we'll talk about why in just a moment, but all this does, it allows Roger to remain a higher seed. So therefore, Djokovic and Roger Federer won't necessarily meet in like the 3rd round of the next tournament they play. And we'll talk about that, okay? But Novak Djokovic to be number 1 in the world for a total of 311 weeks now is quite incredible, right?
Mhm.
He has been playing in the era of Nadal and Federer.
Yes.
So he has done it with the other greatest of all times on the court with him. Now, our last show, we talked about the 2002 U.S. Open and how 30 people in that U.S. Open could have won it, but they didn't. Djokovic has been in these majors with other people that could have won it, plus the other 2 greatest of all time, and has managed to still have a better head-to-head. Let's look at Wimbledon 2019. Roger was serving for the match, and Djokovic stayed patient, defended well, and won it. His record is absolutely incredible, and the further that he separates himself from it, the harder it will be to catch that. Now, Carla did some research. Can we talk about the people that are on this list of consecutive weeks at number 1? Jimmy Connors has to be in there. Ivan Lendl has to be in there. I'm not sure where Becker and Edberg, their careers were kind of short-lived, but Lendl has to be in there.
Well, Federer has 237 consecutive weeks.
But I'm not talking about consecutive weeks.
Oh,
though.
you want to talk about the whole record?
The whole record.
Okay, here's the record. Yeah. You've got Djokovic, who's now at 311.
Total weeks at number 1.
Yes.
Not consecutive, total.
Federer, 310.
Great.
Sampras, 286.
Great.
Ivan Lendl, 270.
I knew he would be there.
Connors, 268. Nadal, 209.
Okay.
McEnroe, 170. Borg, 109. Agassi, 101.
Enough said.
Yeah. And think about the Borg McEnroe. They stopped playing tennis. Borg stopped playing tennis at a young age, in my opinion. And McEnroe was partying a lot of times, I mean, these guys could have had these numbers much higher.
What this record is absolutely masterclass. Okay.
Mhm.
The players she listed are some of my favorites of all time. Some players that I'm more into than Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. When I was a kid, Lendl was someone we watched often with his Adidas racket, and his small teardrop shaped, racket head, These are players that are arguably the greatest of all time, and he has shattered those records, and now he has passed Roger Federer. Back to Roger Federer for a moment. Roger Federer passed Pete Sampras, if you all remember, in 2009 at Wimbledon, winning the 5th set, 16-14 in the 5th. Carla and I watched this match together at that point in time. I know you were very sad about that. Carla was always a Roddick fan. I know they met 3 times. I
was so mad that Roddick lost that slam. I really was. At that point, I could not stand Federer. I just couldn't stand him. Like, every time I would look at him, I would say, look at this Cabbage Patch Kid. That's what I would call him.
Used to call him Crybaby.
I was so tired of seeing this guy. 1 trophy, 2 trophies, 3 trophies. I'm like, come on, somebody beat him already.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, I ended up liking Federer. So don't, for you Djokovic fans, don't think that I liked Federer in the beginning. And then
she hated him. When Carla and I met, we were both. I was already a tennis pro. In other words, a teaching pro. I'd been through the process, got my certificate, and was actively teaching in clubs and privately. Carla had just gotten into that, so Carla and I met because she was going through the same coaching program or university or whatever you want to call it, or association testing program. And she was reaching out to someone that was near her geographical location that had been through it, so I could help her get ready to study drills and so forth. That's how we met. She called me. I was the closest geographically, and we met. And at that point in time, really and truly, Nadal wasn't. He wasn't who Nadal is now. But when Nadal started doing what he was doing, that's when she was like, I'm so glad Crybaby is getting beat now. I'm so tired of seeing him. So understand.
I was happy when Rafa, he was young. I was a Roddick fan. I was for the American players. You know, that's who I always rooted for. I love Pete Sampras. To me, Pete Sampras is my number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Out of Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, I don't care. Sampras, number 1 to me.
Well, she's from New York.
Number 1 to me. My brother had his style, you know, learned a one-handed backhand, played with the same racket. I love the way he was on court. Always friendly, no drama. You could tell that you can go up to him and talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, he was just a very normal guy. And at that point, I didn't like Agassi.
Yeah.
I thought Agassi was too flashy, you know, too much celebrity. You know, I didn't really care for that.
Yeah. When I was a boy, I remember having Agassi's jean shorts with the elastic pants on the inside, and I had my ears pierced. I still do. I just don't wear earrings, but I had both my ears pierced, so I wear the Agassi earrings, you know. Anyway, long story short, though, is back to Djokovic in terms of where Roger Federer's now and where Djokovic is now. Let's look at this. Rafael Nadal, by the way, is now at 20 majors, and he is 4 years younger than Roger Federer. I think it's a given he's going to win another French Open, right? And I think it's a given that Roger's not going to win another major. I think if you think that, then I'm feeling you need to actually go back and research how in depth into the game that you are. At 40 years old, majors, 7 matches, 3 out of 5 set matches. It's just not going to happen. If it does, I'll do something ridiculous on this show. Now to Djokovic. Djokovic is now at 18 majors, and he's 5 years younger than Federer. And he is 5 times better right now on every other surface than everybody, with the exception of Nadal on clay.
Right.
Now, Novak Djokovic, at this point, in my opinion, I don't know about your opinion. I think we wrote separately today, but I feel that Novak Djokovic is 10 times better than the next person behind him on every other surface except clay.
Yeah.
Okay. Novak Djokovic is that much better than everyone. And I don't want to hear about Medvedev, Zverev, or Thiem, these guys, because if you look at Medvedev's performance yesterday against he lost to Lajovic, respectively, another Serbian, played very well. We'll talk about that crappy performance or display of sportsmanship from Medvedev a little bit later. So great win by Lajovic. Let's go. 2 Serbians dominating, at least Medvedev's bozo self. Anyway, Novak Djokovic at this point, in my opinion, will continue to separate himself from records and the rest of the field.
I agree.
Okay.
Look, the reality is, look, I have a few pictures of him, and, you know, I said, let me go look back at Novak's, you know, younger years and stuff that he does. Pretty impressive stuff what he does with his flexibility. You know, like he does, you know, with the girls, they do with the bands, he stretches his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing. That's probably what's helped him a lot in tennis, the flexibility.
Well, I think on our thumbnail that I put on today's video, I put a picture of Djokovic coming in with a really fully separated, swinging freely slice. That was beautiful to see. We have seen return of serves where Djokovic is on his tiptoes, leaning from end to the deuce court corner, almost to the center hash mark, and still on his toes in the same position in which he was standing. So complete lean and racket on ball. I don't know any other player in tennis right now, currently or ever, that has been able to do that.
Right.
Hence why he is, in my opinion, and maybe you disagree with me, but there is the greatest returner or defensive returning serve player of all time is Novak Djokovic. As much as I don't care for Andre Agassi and his whole book and everything else he is about, or was about, at least throughout his career, or after he hung it up, I'll say that Agassi was too. But I think the difference between Djokovic and Agassi is huge. And that's how good he is at returning serve.
Yeah.
Okay? Also, Nadal and Djokovic, both of them both lead Roger Federer and Masters 1000s wins. This isn't new news. We've talked about this multiple times, right?
Yeah, someone here mentioned, I didn't even know that. See, I'm a Nadal fan, but I'm not, what do you say, a hardcore. I need to know this and I need to know that. If he loses, oh my God. No, I'm not that type of fan. I love a lot of people, you know. But someone mentioned here, I didn't even know this. David Bulich, he said Nadal
What's up, bro? Long time no see.
576 weeks in the top 2.
Who?
Nadal, I didn't even know that.
I mean, that's a great record.
That's a great record, but you
no
know,
one remembers second place.
Number 2.
But hey, and great to hear from you, bro. I haven't heard from him in a while, right? Hopefully you're well.
Jack Nolte said Federer has the most ATP titles in general, 103 titles.
I have that written. I have that written. Okay, this was right here. So I wrote that same thing right there. So Federer has 103 ATP singles championships. Yes, Jack, we're on the same page, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Federer has 103 ATP singles championships overall, 6 behind Jimmy Connors.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here is, as for Roger, it's very difficult to win any tournament, much less a major.
109 is what you said?
What?
106. I think they're correcting you.
Federer has 103.
Yeah.
And he's 6 behind Jimmy Connors with 109.
Yeah. You're right.
All right. It's very hard to win a tournament at 40 at any level. Now, Roger Federer has always won a couple of tournaments with relative ease.
Mm-hmm.
Basel in his own backyard, and Halle in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So he's always had good luck at those 2 tournaments. I think they're both 500s, or one's a 250 and one's a 500. I think they're both 500s though. So he might be able to win, a couple more of those, but I think even those will be a tough task for him.
Yeah.
Even 2 out of 3 sets, winning, 4 or 5 matches, I think is a tough task. Much less 3 out of 5 and 7 matches.
Both are 500s. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Who said that? Let's give him credit. Thank you, bro. Thank both of you. Federer still holds the record of the most ATP finals with 6, and Djokovic is only 1 behind with 5. But I feel that that's an insignificant record. It's the end of the year tournaments is kind of exhibitionary, and what I mean by that, we have come up with a name for when players win a big tournament and they go into the next tournament and get like bageled in the first round. We call it a Senego. I hope I'm not losing anybody, but if you follow this channel, like for instance, when Brady got to the finals, Jennifer Brady, the women's player, made the final of the U.S. Open, lost to Osaka, then jumps into her next tournament. She gets beat in the first round. Mm-hmm. My Senego is, Djokovic solidified his year in number 1. He played Borna Coric to solidify it, and then played Senego and lost badly. Not because Senego's a better player, it's because he's ready to go. So we call it a Senego, right? So I don't particularly care about the ATP Finals record.
Some people care. This guy says it's very significant, Justin.
Well, great.
For you, just like some, the stupid club.
Well, who said that? So we can give him props.
This guy 1000.
Look, this guy 1000 always has great things to say. He's a hard-hitting writer. He's not scared. He always does it objectively and professionally. It's a great comment. I think for me, though, I just find it at the end of the year,
they're tired.
The richest players, the ones with, $100 million in endorsements and another $200 million in their bank account, I don't find that if the road gets bumpy, that they're ready to adjust and to tax their body with the Australian Open coming up like 2 months away. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I just find it more exhibitionary and theatrical with the O2 arena and the lights and everything else. You do see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't find that significant for me, but he's surely right, and not everyone agrees with me. We know that.
I like this message from Natasha. Roger is graceful, Rafa is brutal, and Novak is lethal.
Natasha who?
Sterling.
Oh, I thought that was Gabe's mom, no. Natasha. Great message, and nice to have a female here.
Hey guys, long time, first time watcher.
Let's go.
Ghazi, I was going to talk about your long email, but after the second and third email you sent me, I decided that you're not worth even saying anything about. Because
explain that.
He sent me a Nadal thing, and I was going to, go into it. I didn't get to it in the last show. I was going to do it this show. But when you sent me a message telling me stuff about women and that I'm butt hurting, there's no reason for me to say anything more.
Fair enough.
Obviously, you're just a Djokovic fan. You're not a fan of anybody else because I see you trashing Gene. I see you talk bad about Nadal.
Gene, go ahead and block that for us.
That's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. I understand that you love Djokovic. Nothing wrong with that. But when you start, going into saying F this, F that on my emails, then there's no reason for me to say anything.
Well, let's even push it further than that. The individual was blocked here because he demeaned you very colorfully here. Gene blocked it. We told him to unblock it. And then he went insofar as to found our business email. When you track someone down internationally and find their business email, and then you start writing things like screw you, but not that word, like a wrong word, and women are this and women are blah, 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 and you're writing that to a woman on their business email, it's kind of creepy. It's like beyond creepy. It's like weird. So enough of that. Let's not get negative because we don't want to even stoop to that level. Let's just push forward.
Sinisa asked the question, who has the most beautiful style of tennis in your opinion, ever, men or women? Beautiful style. Henin, I loved her style.
Yeah.
To me, like Henin.
That's an easy answer for me.
Yeah, Henin, I would say, hands down, women.
Okay.
Men's, I'm sorry, guys. Federer.
Yeah.
And Sampras. Sorry.
Well, Sampras's game wasn't inherently beautiful.
It wasn't beautiful. So Federer has the most beautiful game. I'm sorry.
Sampras was just a maestro. He was a magician.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Annacone, one of his coaches, and someone I've been around on quite a few occasions. Paul Annacone is a really good coach and a very humble and soft-speaking individual. You won't see Paul Annacone amped up about much. And Paul Annacone used to say, he's a magician. Sampras is a magician. He also would say watching Roger Federer is a religious experience. Anyway, the best game for me from a female perspective would be Steffi Graf or Justine Henin.
Yeah, Graf, I wish she would have done more with her one-handed than just slice it all the time.
She was a slice-statistician. Yeah. Justine Henin would mix it up with the top spin.
It's amazing that people couldn't figure out the slice. You would think the slice, after a while, you guys would figure it out. But
look, I'm partially biased with Justine Henin. I've said this before. I was at the 2000 U.S. Open, and I was doing some stringing, and I had a chance to hit with her nutritionist, her physio, and some of her staff. And this was the Friday before the Saturday women's final. I think she played Kuznetsova in the final and beat Serena in the semi. And she came out in some gray capri like pants like Nadal used to wear back in that time, and just a little white tank top, came out to the court, sat down. She didn't do any hitting with us, but I'm sitting there hitting with the trainer and nutritionist. We're playing like Canadian doubles, and she's just sitting there hanging out, and she was really a sweet girl. Talk about a little girl that can pack a punch.
Yeah,
she could do it. Now on the men's side, again, my tennis history goes way back. I was born into the game. My father would have us watching black and white videos on 8mm and everything else. Look, Bill Tilden had a great game.
I love Stephen Edberg.
Don Budge had a great game. Lou Hode, if Michael Walker's out there, he's a Lou Hode fan. Big Bill Tilden. Stefan Edberg has a beautiful game. Roger Federer has a beautiful game. Novak Djokovic has a gorgeous game too. It's hard for me to answer the question, who has the most beautiful game, when the male has two hands on the racket. I'm not taking anything away from that, but when I was a boy growing up in the game, it was very rare we saw a male with two hands on the racket, right? But now I even coach that. So I'll choose my words carefully because this segment is for Novak, and I don't want to get into saying that I don't care for his game 100% because he hits with two hands.
He's got the best game. That's we're just talking about beautiful game, not the most effective game. Someone asked who has the ugliest game.
Oh, geez.
There's many.
Medvedev's
Bartoli.
Riley Opelka.
Bartoli would be number one. Seuss would be number two.
Yeah, two hands on both sides. Sue Shea, she fights hard, but her game's ugly.
Yeah.
Let's see who's got some preposterous serves out there. Who's the girl that
Kiki Bertens.
Bertens has an ugly game.
Yeah. I can't stand watching Kyrgios serve.
Hunchback of Notre Kyrgios.
The ugly forehand jock sock.
Francis Tiafoe.
Yeah, ugly. Yeah.
There's a lot of ugly games out there. Most of the American men right now have ugly games. You want to see an ugly game? Watch the young American boys play.
Yeah. And
you'll see plenty of ugly games. The Tiafoe, those type of big serve followed up by a forehand, and if you don't get that and then it goes somewhere else, you're done, right? Those are ugly games. Yeah. Okay, but back to the segment though.
Yeah.
All right. Roger Federer, though, still has one record that's quite impressive, and that's 237 consecutive weeks at number one. Now, this stat came from Sister the Queen, so thank her for that. I think we knew that, but again, her stats here coming down are basically what she wrote. 237 weeks at number one. Now, again, we revisit 2002 U.S. Open and all the players deep that we read. 30 players, I think, that we had an idea that could have potentially won that tournament, right? And he still managed to stay number one for 237 consecutive weeks. However, eventually Djokovic and Nadal showed up. So anyway, great record. But is that record something that the future tennis historians are going to look
just
up?
for those diehard fans. I'm sorry.
That's
I mean,
it?
we're talking about people that don't read into the whole, they don't do their research. I'm just talking about somebody like maybe like me who just looks at football. Like, how many rings do you have?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I'm talking
Exactly.
about. Or basketball, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That's it.
Yeah, not for you or I or all of us. It just in the future. Look, if I have a child when I'm 60 and the child grows up and he says, "Hey, Dad, who's the greatest of all time?" I don't know. Go look it up. I'm assuming that 20 years from now they'll Google it up and find out whoever has the most majors was the greatest of all time, and I do think that will be Novak Djokovic at that point. I'm not really worried about the minor things. I mean, they're major, but they're only major for staunch fans.
Well, I have another thing. Like, who's the best guy out of all those three? I did pictures last night.
Oh, show that.
Who do you think is
the best looking?
The best looking when they're in their tux.
Off the court, wearing a suit. Who's the best looking? Poll question right here.
And I'll tell you who I think.
All right, let's see him. So she's going to show you pictures of Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal in a suit. Who's the hottest dude?
All right, here we go. There's Mr. Djokovic. Okay. And now we will go to Mr. Federer. Now we will go to Nadal when he had hair. Now, who do you guys vote? Who do you guys vote for? Let's see. Let's go back to comments. Nadal. Okay. Nadal. We got 2 for Nadal. Djokovic. 3-1. Okay. Djokovic tied. Nadal 4. Oh, even the Djokovic fans are saying Nadal. No one's saying Federer. That's why I called him the Cabbage Patch Kid.
I'm gonna,
all right, so do you want to know who I think?
Go ahead. I'll tell you who I think.
Djokovic.
Yeah.
Shocking,
I'm gonna agree with Djokovic.
Yeah.
Look, Roger Federer, as great as he is, and as classy as he presents himself, is not a super handsome dude. I'm sorry.
Who?
Federer.
No, he's not. That's why I call him the Cabbage Patch Kid.
Nadal, is tough as a champion he is.
Yeah.
He is a handsome man, but Djokovic takes the cake here. The only thing I wish Djokovic would do, though, is keep his chest shaved.
Yeah. No hair on the chest.
Look, if I take my shirt off, I have nothing. I can't do it. I sweat too much. I'm on the court 10 hours a day. I'm giving like our boy students props. Like, you played well. Let's go. Great workout. Djokovic hands down beats Nadal and Federer.
He's actually improved. When he started the tour, I thought he was kind of funny looking. Like he was just a little weird.
Yeah. As
he's gotten older, he's gotten better looking. Whereas Nadal, when he was younger, was the better looking one. But now that he's older and no hair, like that hair implant, he just, I don't know.
Let's look back and look how that kind of developed. When Djokovic kind of jumped on the scene, a lot of the majors early on, I was there stringing, and Djokovic would come out, and it was almost like he was trying to find a way to be accepted.
Djokovic is the hair goat. Yeah.
Yeah. So so Djokovic came out. Do you remember he used to do a lot of impersonations and stuff? So it was like he was, gaining traction and trying to get a little bit of attention, but he was very young, right? When Nadal came out, he had the long hair, the capris, and every time he would hit a shot, he would go, oh, So everybody bought into that.
He had the long hair, he had the capri pants, he had the muscle T-shirt. He was young, he was fiery, and that's what I liked about him. Whereas Djokovic was still kind of goofy looking, Yeah,
he was still growing up.
And just Federer, I'm sorry, with the ponytail and the headband like I'm wearing, it
was a little pretty boyish, a little precocious.
When he cut his hair, I said, okay, it's a little better, but I do agree with you guys. The body is just not.
Yeah.
You look at Djokovic, and I have a video of Djokovic too, by the way. Should I play it for them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
While you're doing that, again, Djokovic's body, his physique, is, in my opinion, more proportionate and more dominant than Federer or Nadal. Some people may say, well, Nadal's built more, but the total package of Djokovic is better.
Now I'm going to let it play. Keep talking because on these videos, I can't replay it. Let me try
because it'll get pulled.
No, here we go. So here's a video that I thought was pretty hilarious.
You can see the real Rocky. Na, 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 na.
That's what he's doing right now. He's like, yeah, I'm almost there. 20. Yeah. I'm almost there. Yeah.
Come on.
This guy's hilarious.
Yes! Let's go. Great video.
That guy is hilarious.
Let's get down.
All right.
All right. Ending this segment, a couple of things. Number one, bravo, standing ovation for the record. It's a record in which I don't know, Carla, if you and I will be alive when it's broken. Okay. Congratulations on this record. It will only get more separated from everyone else as time moves forward. Okay.
What comment did get deleted, Mitrovic? I didn't see a comment get deleted, and you can usually see. I can usually see if a comment gets deleted, and I didn't see that.
All right. Some parting thoughts here. Okay. Some parting thoughts. The biggest records right now that Roger Federer holds are being erased systematically. The biggest records that Roger Federer holds right now are being erased one by one systematically.
They are.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Historically, if Roger Federer's 20 majors are surpassed, I get Nadal's at 20. I understand Djokovic is at 18. If they get passed by one or both, I have a real hard time believing that you will still come across Roger Federer's name 30 years from now for those that are 20 years old 30 years from now. In other words, born 10 years from now. I have a hard time believing that if it is passed by one or both, that when they go to searching who's the greatest player of all time, that they will even see Roger Federer's name at all.
Yeah.
Number one. Some sports writers that talk about these big three, which right now, again, I think is the big 1.5 that's left. Djokovic being 1 and the 0.5 being Nadal that can still play on clay. 1.5, so the big 1.5. But I have read numerous sports writers indicate that the possibility of Federer being able to be recognized 30 years from now, if all these records are broken, is slim to none in terms of him still being at the top. And those that got to experience it were able to experience a type of religious experience, a fluid floater on the court. But when it came down to Djokovic and the latter part of his career and Nadal, he didn't really have an answer for it.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's going to be tough because it is tough the older you get. I mean, it's tough on the body. Professional sports, very tough. And these guys, I mean, right now, Djokovic won the Australian Open, so we know that he is at a high, recuperating for clay,
Yeah.
Get another shot at the clay. We know that Nadal's tough to beat on clay.
Yeah.
Just like Djokovic is tough to beat at the Australian Open. So that record might get passed
Quickly.
in May or June, whenever if it happens. By the way, I know a lot of you guys said the European tour might not happen. Just to let you know, here in the United States, Mississippi, Florida, and Texas no longer have a mask rule.
Yeah,
They're going easy.
Yeah, no, actually, no. Three of the U.S. states as of right now are totally back to normal. There's no rules. There's no mask. It's back to normal.
And here, ours end April 6th, and restaurants are no longer having, as of now, having to do the social distancing, 50% regular. Summer camps are going to start. Why is that over there it's still like that? I don't get it.
Don't know. I don't have the answer for it. But here in Alabama, April the 6th or 8th.
April 6th, everything, it's optional if you want to, or April 5th, it's optional that you want to wear it or not.
April 1st, we're supposed to move back into our house. I'm assuming based upon the turnaround, what I've seen in the past couple of days, it's going to be an April Fool's joke. I don't see that house being done April 1st, even though we were told that 27 times. But yes, totally agree. But the normality returns in the state in which we live on April the 6th. So good things to come, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next topic, guys, and this is an important one, and I have a lot to talk about, but I really could not mention this close after the Djokovic topic. A lot of you may bail here. That's okay. But this is important to us. We're parents, we're coaches of a lot of students. I don't know, 50, 60 people we see every week continuously. But here's the topic. And feel free to comment as you wish or to leave as you wish, but this is important for us in the 5K family. The topic is education and the absolute shocking state of education, especially here in the United States and also globally. Education, meaning the education of our children to prepare for the world in which we live today in 2021. Hopefully they're all like Gene Swart out there that are studying, that are working with their family and doing good things. Okay. But let me tell you about an article that I read. I read a high school article, or I read an article about a high school student. Okay. This high school student had only passed 3 classes in 4 years of high school. Now let me reiterate that. This high school student only passed 3 classes in 4 years of going to high school. Okay. Yet he was still near the top of his class. This is shocking. This is appalling. Now let me move forward. This individual was absent 272 times, failed 22 classes, and his mother thought, while she was working 70 hours a week, his mother thought that he was about to graduate his senior year, and then she found out that he was still, credit-wise, still in the 9th grade. This is a huge problem, and not only for the child, not only for the mother that maybe should have done a little bit of homework there, but most importantly, for the damn school system. How is it that a mother, I don't care if she didn't do her homework or not, or she wasn't around, but how is it that an entire school system, now by the way, this school system was in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm not pointing out Baltimore,
There's a lot of issues
but we have
going
viewers in Baltimore.
There's a lot of issues going on there, actually.
I don't care. It's an
Look
issue.
at that.
It's not just there. It's everywhere.
I'll talk about that too. I have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me postulate a few things. Let's talk about it. Number one, mom didn't know. Okay, well maybe mom has issues, whatever. But you can't tell me that a school system full of superintendents, principals, and teachers and everyone else can't find someone to let the mother know that this kid is not doing anything. And I think the reason why that maybe these parents aren't alerted is because what type of crap is it that this kid that's only passed 3 classes in the past 4 years is still near the top of his class? That tells you that this school, wherever it may be, has probably 2,000 students, and someone that only passed 3 classes is in the top of the class. This is telling you that there's 2,000 kids that are fixing to come out of where this is, and it doesn't. I'm not picking on that place because it's obviously everywhere.
Well,
but this tells you that millions of kids are going to come out of high school as complete idiots.
Yeah, it's like here. I heard that the school that my kids go to, there's about 200 seniors that are failing. They're doing the classes online, and obviously they're not learning. Parents are not checking on them. Half of them are not even popping up on the classes. I think this is just a messed up situation. I even wrote here 11% drop on college applications because some of these kids are going to work instead of going to school. Either parents are not willing to help them out with the FAFSA application, which is financial aid.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean so the college, application has dropped, and that's terrible because to be successful, unfortunately, you need that degree.
Yeah, Gene Swart, you better be in college, bro. I'm mad. If you want to come to college in the U.S., you can crash at my place. I don't even care. Get your butt in college.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why this is such a big deal on the global stage. Okay. Let's talk about why this is such a big deal. Is there any future in terms of getting a job, in terms of intellect with this young man? Is there any future? I mean, unless somehow he only passes 3 classes and goes and makes a 35 on his ACT, then he might have a chance. But if you can only pass 3 classes in 4 years, your chances of excelling on an ACT or SAT are slim to none.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at how difficult the world in which we live is today. Is the world getting easier to live in?
No. Didn't we watch a movie last night?
Well, it's a documentary.
It was a documentary. The Generation
of Wealth.
This is what kids who come from rich families or people that are struggling that decide to sell their bodies, soul for money.
Or a lot of things.
So they have no education. They come as these girls that are strippers, porn stars,
pole dancers
to make the quick and easy money, or guys who think, hey, maybe if I rap a song or do this or work here, the quick money. And then you've got the kids that are rich that never worked a day in their life and expect everything to be given to them, but yet they're dumb.
Yeah, the documentary, in the sense that we were watching, A Generation of Wealth, check it out. Here's these kids everywhere that were glamorized and were given all this money at a very young age. They stopped their education and now they're broke. And maybe not broke now, but their bodies are destroyed for the adult stars. I think the rapper you're alluding to actually made a really good family for himself.
But
once he realized
not him.
that.
I'm just saying in general, they think
that's the
short way. Yes.
The reality television that people watch, Carla's one of them. When you watch the reality shows
Yes,
that
but
you
you know
watch,
what?
I get so pissed.
But let me tell
It's
you,
so stupid. Dude, your reality shows are trash, and I can't believe you even allow them in our home.
I watch 2 reality shows.
They're
and
trash.
I don't go shopping. I don't go do certain other things. I don't go drinking and certain other things. So I think I enjoy my 2 shows. They don't make me stupid. I enjoy them just like you enjoy certain things in life. Just saying. I'm not sure why you even mentioning that.
Well, because
Don't mention
it's
that.
just trash. It's just trash. This is why our kids are polluted with trash. This is why our kids get pissed off when we say, hey, come play tennis, because they have to drop their controller.
That's true. What does that have to do with the show I watch?
I'm referring that to children, because children watch the same thing.
Gotcha.
So you feed your kids' minds up with trash, and then you ask them to set the trash down to come do something that is fortuitous.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, well, what am I going to do this for? And they're just so aggravated because they have to drop their stupid instant crack controller. Now, we just met a young lady, Carla, did we not, that was doing her PhD, and she was doing her dissertation on kids' attitudes when they are told to set down their device or set down their controllers, and how bad it gets.
Yes.
Don't you believe
Well,
it?
her dissertation was on kids who have no relationship with the parents, because the parents say, here you go, or they pay for their phone or something, and they don't talk to their kids. That's what it was about. And they don't spend time with their kids. Nothing. They have no clue what's going on in their kid's life. And that's what happens. That's what happened with this kid who had that he was 3rd highest ranked. The mother probably never checked on him, never interacted with him, never did,
assumed she probably assumed that the school would contact her if there's anything wrong, though, and that didn't happen. Now let me I'm going to squash this segment on this because I know a lot of you probably could care less.
No, they're actually talking about a good subject. Lori says the education crisis in America is directly
Is that
related.
Lori LeBlanc?
Yes.
What's up, Lori?
Related to political crisis in America. The basics are not learned. History, anyone? Science, critical thinking is not required. It's a shame.
See, this is the type topic, guys and gals, that we do, and subscribers drop. And what we always say, Carla and I will say, we do a topic like this and 20 subscribers drop. We do a topic with our kids, 20 more drop. But if we do a topic where we're yelling at each other and dissing Federer and pumping up Djokovic, or we're dissing this girl and pumping up that one, then they start to come back. Hell, I did a video where my house got destroyed during a hurricane and they were all over the place. So here's the problem with this. Carla and I have done videos with our 5 children where the older brother's teaching the little sister, the 5-year-old's learning how to serve. We sat down at the dinner table with all of our extended family, your dad, my dad, your mom, or stepmom, whatever, and everybody else, with really good content.
Funny, like 8 drops.
That's okay. See ya. Bye. It doesn't.
No, I'm just saying you're right. See?
It doesn't matter.
We're gonna say Djokovic or Nadal or Federer, and they'll be like, yeah.
Or if we sit here and start cussing and shoot a middle finger, then they'll start coming back. The problem with that is how is it that we can allow, as people, as parents, as coaches, as human beings, I don't care where you are, and if you're dropping like flies, then go look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, where are you going? Where are you headed? What is your goal in life? What is your business model for yourself? What is your moral model for yourself? And if you want to bail, that's fine. But don't come telling me, don't cover women's tennis because no one else does it, when every one of those channels that you're talking about is sitting on mommy's couch with all this fancy equipment that mommy bought. They're like 25 years old in Connecticut, living on mama's couch, playing at country clubs that are like $10,000 a month to join. Spare us. This is important. The children are important. And if you want to bail, that's great. But I would rather have a channel of 2,000 family members than 1 million schmucks.
I agree.
Period.
Milan, the Kardashians need to disappear.
Thank you.
They really do. Wildlife says the cost of college, and I'm bleeding from my lip, sunburn. The cost of college is a real problem to me. I've worked with people in their late 20s or even early 30s who are still paying off college debt.
That Milan?
That's wildlife.
Wildlife. I'm 43 years old. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology and am entertaining my master's degree. I still have $43,000 in student loans I'm paying on. $43,000. And I'm coaching tennis, and I have a degree in psychology. So I'm having to get my master's now to continue to try to offset that $43,000 balance. And I'm 43. I graduated a long time ago, and I still have $43,000
That's why
loans.
I think now you try to prepare your kids just to try to get those scholarships. There's a lot of scholarships that many don't know about, and the help that they can get.
Squashing the subject, last question. What do we do to help? What do we do to help these kids? What do we do? Do we sit here and say, stop covering women's tennis because they suck? Do we sit here and say women are trash and they're who cares that they put me on this earth? Do we continue to say that, or do we say, hey, look, let's slow down here. Let's be kind. Let's be humble. Let's lend a helping hand.
Yeah.
Let's open the door for this young lady. Let's open the door for the senior citizen. Let's try to give this person a free lesson if we can entertain it. If we can take time out of our day to make this person smile. If we can take time out of our day to share our sport and our passion with somebody, I win, right? What's my graduate school essay say? My goal is to win. What's my definition of winning? To make someone else smile.
Yeah.
Enough said. Enough hate. If you don't like women's tennis and you don't want to talk about it and you don't want to talk about subjects like education and what's wrong with humanity, now get lost.
Help the kids that
Won't help-
that
it
don't
won't
have a
help you,
chance, and they said help those kids that don't have a chance. Example of the story that he said, here's these kids coming to play tennis, don't have rackets, don't,
Can't afford a lesson.
Can't afford a
don't
lesson.
have tennis shoes.
Yeah, to help those.
Those are the kids we coach.
Mhm.
Those are the kids we coach. If you want to watch pretty boy stuff sitting in their mom's house in Connecticut, go there. We're not for you.
Let me tell you, if I had the money to go, and I hate to say this, but go to the lower income class neighborhoods and grab those talented
I'll take
athletes,
them.
they could be great champions.
I'm
so tired of seeing the country club kids. It's
And-
all
and-
the same style. It's all the same BS. The expensive clothes.
The same
expensive
coaches that
equipment,
just
no
teach-
heart, no humility. They're not nice.
And you look at the state of American tennis on the men's side and you get why, right?
Yeah.
Understand that this is the inherent problem
Well, you gotta be
metaphorically
tough.
in the
You
world.
gotta be tough on your kids. We don't come from much, and my son's in the Air Force Academy. We didn't have much. He never drove a car. Yeah, poverty's the problem, but you can do it. You just gotta push yourself.
My son didn't. We have
You
five.
gotta push yourself.
We have 5 kids. My oldest son that's in the Air Force Academy, an elite college that is super competitive, right?
Yeah.
Arguably harder to get into than Yale, Harvard, Dartmouth, and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's there. Do you know when I got him his first cell phone? When he was halfway through his senior year in high school. He didn't have time to deviate from reality because I made sure he was reality checked 24/7, 365. Okay?
This guy said more world topics. He said great topic. Maybe more world topics in the future.
Let's go. Those are the Wild Lives, the This Guys, the Jack Nolte's, the Sister the Queens, the B-Dogs, the Wayne
It
Chias.
comes from the parents. The parents have to push the kids. The parents have to push the kids. If you don't push the kids, then
Look,
that's where the problem is.
I would
My
rather,
dad pushed me to be a great tennis player.
I would rather sit here and have this conversation with 7 people than I could care less about 20 million trolls sitting there bashing what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Enough said.
All right.
You know who you are. Understand where we come from.
Next topic.
All right.
Oh, were we going to talk about the ATP rankings? And here's another issue I got. Dr. Seuss. How are you going to ban Dr. Seuss books?
That's a sticky situation.
Man,
I
that is
wouldn't
not
get
a
into that.
sticky
I didn't know you
situation.
wrote that.
Dr. Seuss.
That is a sticky situation.
That is not a sticky situation, Justin. How are you going to ban that? Go ban the
Well,
sex
there's-
that you're showing on TV.
No, you
Come
have.
on,
Okay,
no.
I didn't know you
read
wrote.
about that. No, that's stupid.
Okay, the
Let's
reason
go to the next subject.
I'm gonna leave it there. I didn't know you wrote that at all. You should have discussed that with me before because you're off there.
I
A
wrote
lot
it.
of those older Dr. Seuss books would have certain of those little characteristic animals that were like Dr. Seussish with slanted eyes, the one doing the slave work. There was a difference in the appearance of one animal versus the other. So
okay.
I'm not saying it should be done, but I do get it's like the Washington Redskins of football. You should have done a little bit more research.
I did
on
a
that
little
one.
research. I read about it and looked at the pictures.
I think you shot from the hip on that one.
No, I didn't.
If you look
There's
at,
a lot of people who agree with me.
Okay.
You disagree.
anyway, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying in 2021, where every single thing that you do is dissected,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be careful. I mean,
My
gee,
dad never pushed me in school. That's why I pushed my kids to school. My dad didn't have. He got up to 3rd grade in his country, so my dad never pushed me. Someone was asking me in education. He always pushed me with the sports, and I do the opposite. I push my kids with the school.
well, I can assure you one thing. When I was a boy,
Yeah.
my dad would have torn my face off if I didn't have straight A's.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay.
Next subject.
All right.
ATP rankings. Are we getting to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go with it.
All right. I got a lot of messages about the ATP rankings. How I got one from Mahesh, and I'll read it because He said he saw this in a group.
Can I say something about Rahesh real quick? Is he out there?
He doesn't make a comment. He usually watches. So.
When she mentions Rahesh, by the way, Rahesh is a dear family friend, and I mean that. I won't get into his location or whatever, or where he comes from and what he has lost. But Rahesh has lost more than a lot of us combined. Rahesh has studied his ass off his entire life to do what he does. Rahesh has single-handedly helped me with my knee when I blew it out and could not afford my deductible on my MRI. He made that happen. Rahesh Kumar is someone that, for me, is absolute family, just like Sister the Queen, just like B-Dog, blah, 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 blah. Wayne Chia, Wildlife One. These guys and gals are in our home, whether we're doing a show or not, whether they're 2,000 miles away or not. But Rahesh Kumar is an amazing human being. And sometimes I just want to shed a tear thinking about him because he helped me personally, single-handedly, through one of the most difficult times in my entire life outside of prison.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, the message that he left and all that.
Rahesh Kumar is a hell of a young man. So what he says is really important to me and to us and our entire 5K family. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we know that they changed the ATP rankings, right? I mean, I got a message first from Gene about the rankings, and I don't want to read it because it's just a lot. It's not that I don't want to read it, but the explanation of what they're doing, that you get to keep your 2019 points. Well, we know Federer's coming back, and Rahesh said, look, he's like, someone wrote this. Maybe you want to read it. He's, as expected, someone wrote, I don't know who it is. The big conspiracy has come from the ATP by introducing and extending the ranking points up to the summer of 2021 with slight modifications of retaining points up until then. This is clearly a ploy only to help Roger Federer to keep afloat as long as he can remain in the top 10 at least, even if he's not playing any tennis in the ATP circuit until August 9th, 2021. This is ridiculous. This is ludicrous. This is blatant bias by ATP. This is even corrupting the tennis sport. It's all about money from the sponsors involved. What do you guys think?
Truthful. And I have a Roger Federer tattoo on my back. Okay? I'm not going to take my shirt off and show you an RF on my back that covers it. He's right. There is no reason.
Yeah, Rahesh didn't write it. Someone wrote it. He just sent it to me.
I understand that. But there's no reason to change the ranking system. You know who else is skeptical on this list? Ashley Barty. Same reason why
WTA is continuing. They're not following the same.
I'm just saying, though, she was assisted by it the last year. That's what I'm saying. So they're extending it for the mighty Federer, what's left of him. And look, I love the game. He's arguably, for me, the most fluid player of all time. But look, he's done.
I don't think
he's done. Stop hanging on to money and vindictiveness and bias. Just
I'm not saying
let it go. It's Djokovic's time.
Okay, I'm gonna read Wildlife's comment because what I said to Rahesh is like, yeah, that seems suspicious, but it's not like it's gonna make a difference for Djokovic or Nadal.
Djokovic is still gonna dominate.
It's not so.
They just want Federer going deeper into tournaments.
So Wildlife says, I don't know why they care. Federer's ranking has almost zero effect on Djokovic, as Djokovic will likely beat him in any round. He says Federer being ranked higher actually means Djokovic is less likely to face him because Federer would have to go deep into tournaments to get to Djokovic.
More ticket sales, more advertisements, more people watching television.
I think honestly, who cares? The winner is determined by playing well, right? I mean,
it's suspect.
It is suspect.
It's what these kids say these days. These kids these days.
My son says
our kids don't even say whole words anymore. They talk in like half the syllable. So they're like sus instead of suspect. It's suspect. It's definitely there to sell more tickets, to sell more concessions, to sell more shoes, to sell more outfits. Why in the heck? It doesn't matter. I understand that. It doesn't matter. But it's being done so when Federer comes back that they can sell more primetime matches at night, or whatever the primetime is, versus, say, Djokovic or Nadal meeting Federer in the second round. They're protecting the ranking system so the epic match, whether it's Federer versus Djokovic or Federer versus Nadal, when he does finally come back to hang everything up, which he should already hang it up, so it can sell more tickets. It's all about this. It's all about this. It's meaningless in the grand scheme of things because Djokovic will win, and he will win easily, but it's about this.
Yeah.
Period. Anybody want to object it? Am I wrong? I mean, we're still protecting points. Federer hasn't played in a year, 12 months or more. 12 months, and homeboy's still like in the top of the world. It's a problem there. It's about money.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else you want to say on that subject?
No, what was it?
All right. We're going to talk about the Daniil Medvedev loss to Lajovic, and we're going to talk about the Sasha or Alexander puppy hater fairy boy Zverev loss to Bublik. Why am I bringing this up at all? Why?
About Medvedev? Oh, because he could have been number 2.
Medvedev could have been number 2 in the world if he would have done better in this tournament. Now, he loses to a very respectable Serbian player. Lajovic, love him. I love his fight. But like my father said a couple of shows ago when he wrote a statement that we read, Medvedev will always finish second in a field of 2 if he never develops an all-around game. He will always finish second in a field of 2 if he can't play the net. And he will always finish second in a field of 2 if he wants to act like a piece of shit on the court. He acts like I almost said something I shouldn't have. He acts like a little sissy girl on the court.
Mm-hmm.
He played Lajovic. He looked like a schmuck. He could have been number 2 in the world. Get lost. Bublik, by the way, when he beat Zverev, good job for Bublik. I like Bublik. Why do I like Bublik? Because he is real. He has told the world multiple times he doesn't like the game. He's just good at it, at least as good as he can be, and it's a job for him. And his job is to feed his family, and that's why he plays, and that's real.
Yeah. So
Okay.
obviously Medvedev is good, but he'll never be a Grand Slam champion if he unless he adds variety. You know, just like I said about Sabalenka, Pliskova, and many other players, you have to have variety. You have to have an all-around game or something. The backhand is great to have as a weapon, but you got to have more than that.
By the way, I looked here, and I have to say something because I almost forgot. I want to say thank you to Wilson and Luxalon for the racket and the strings. We've been doing the show a while, and Carla was given the racket and the strings. Thank you very much. I just wanted to say that. That's why it's here, and I've been leaning on it, and I totally forgot, and I didn't write it.
And for all you Serena haters, hold on. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
So that's the limited edition Serena Williams 102. They reached out and basically handed us the racket for the shout out, and it's now Carla's favorite racket. And the Luxalon, thank you again for the strings. They're beautiful. All right. Anyway, so we talked about earlier in the show where we have a new term for people that give up in matches. We call it a Senego, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to redefine that? Does everybody know?
Well, they both lost.
Does everybody?
Lajovic lost. So
Yeah,
what does that tell you about Medvedev and Zverev?
Does everybody know what I mean when I say someone pulled a Senego?
Mhm.
In other words, Djokovic beat Coric to solidify his year number 1, comes back the next day, plays Senego, and gets trounced off the court. We all knew that he just wanted to rest. So when I say someone pulled a Senego, you understand the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Medvedev loses to Lajovic. Do you call that a Senego?
No.
No.
Because I watched that match.
It was a tight match.
It was a tight match, yeah.
The problem with Medvedev losing this match is he got his panties in a wad.
Mm-hmm.
He started acting like a little kindergartner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He got pissed off, been out of shape like he always does, and he lost. Not a Senego. Now, let's look at the Zverev loss to Bublik. Is that a Senego? Borderline? Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Think about these things. Think about some of these tactics that players will use. Medvedev's loss to Lajovic. Was Lajovic the better player? I think so.
Yeah. That day he
Now,
was.
if you go to the Zverev-Bublik match, was Bublik the better player? I don't know. I watched both matches. I feel like Zverev was 50%. That's how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just saying, your comments there. Okay, just thought. Another thing, Andy Murray loses to Rublev 7-5, 6-2. Now, it wasn't long ago that Carla brought up the fact that Andy Murray said he can still can compete with the best players in the world on one leg. Oh, man, Rublev came out today and he plays so good, and Elliot Loney does that way better than me. That's Elliot Loney. Have you ever seen this guy, Elliot Loney?
Yeah,
he does the impersonations.
Hilarious.
Homeboy is really good. He
Yeah.
does Nadal the best. But anyway, I get a kick out of his video.
Gene says Zverev has 0 double faults, but still lost.
What does that tell you?
Wow.
Is that a Senego?
I don't know.
Is that a Senego?
7-5 is decent. Yeah, true, William Chia.
Respectable.
Yeah, Murray's finito. Done. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. From a medical standpoint, I'm not a doctor, but I've had enough orthopedic surgeries in my life, and my father's a retired surgeon. If Murray keeps going with this injury, he won't just have a hip that's been corrected. He'll have an artificial hip. I don't know what his medical team is indicating, but generally, you ball and socket joints, there's an issue there, and then you continually to shift and change directions and pound it into the dirt. Eventually that joint, the cartilage will roll off the ball and socket. There will be no cartilage left, and eventually it will be bone on bone, and there will be pain on every step that you take. 2 days ago, I ruptured my patellar tendon 14 months ago. I've never been able to get rid of the pain. I went to the doctor or my orthopedic surgeon a couple of days ago. They put a couple injections into my knee. It still hurts. Anyway, the doctor looked at me in the face and said, Justin, I know your intensity. I've known you a long time. I know your athletic ability, and you've been digging deep for a long time on multiple sports. He looked at me and said, your time is done. If you continue to play this way, and you continue to go out at 43 years old with 5 kids and everything else, and you continue to go out on the court and not realize that you're a coach now and not a player anymore, and continue to get drawn into these battles with people half your age, and then you come up limping afterwards, you're going to have an artificial knee or a total knee replacement by the time you're 50, and I'm 43.
William Chia said a great comment.
Read it.
Murray is proof that it's not necessary with the current generation to last longer.
It's not.
7562 is respectable.
Very
says
respectable.
a lot.
It says it was a close first set.
6275.
Either way.
Yeah, the guy is injured. He did.
And look, I didn't watch the match. I wrote this down that they were playing, and I caught the score the next day. But I doubt Rublev had to work that hard. It doesn't seem like it. Break in the first, a couple breaks in the second, or vice versa. It doesn't seem like he had to work too terribly hard. All right. Next topic, and this one will be quick. Does anyone remember the movie Rocky IV?
Yeah.
Rocky IV with Drago, I will destroy you. Okay? One of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. Okay? Does anybody remember the song, I am the eye of the tiger?
Yeah.
I can't sing.
No, not because of that. They'll copyright it.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Didn't know that. I don't really get into that. I don't care about monetization. I really don't.
Yeah, but if you get a lot of strikes, it's not good.
Oh.
You should know that.
Oh, I don't keep up with it.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. The Eye of the Tiger theme song. Can I tell you who in women's tennis that has the Eye of the Tiger?
Oh my God, no, you're not.
Let's go, Pliskova. Let's go, Pliskova. Come on.
By the way, she just got beat by Pagula.
Let's go, Pliskova.
And while I'm using your picture because that is hilarious. And I'm going to ask you guys, you tell me if this girl looks to you like she has the eye of the tiger.
Love her. Let's go, Pliskova.
Does she look like she has the eye of the tiger?
Let's go, Pliskova.
I mean, like, really? Like,
come on.
I mean, you look at this player playing across you. She looks like a zombie. Like, she's tired.
She's dynamite.
She looks like a zombie. Look at her.
Dynamite. Let's go, Pliskova.
I don't know.
Does Pliskova ever win a major?
No.
We talked about this for 3 years. Can she ever win a major?
Never.
Never?
She'll never win. She just got beat by Pagula.
Why? Why can't she win a major?
1, there's no emotions. 2, there's no variety on the game. 3, you have to think outside the box. Something's not working. What can we do? What else can we do? Simple.
Roger Federer.
4,
Roger Federer's never had a lot of emotions.
But he's got the tools, the weapons, the thinking. It's like a game of chess. And 4, she has no heart.
I love you though, Pliskova. Now,
Milan said no. So sorry.
Okay, let me ask Carla a question. By the way, last night when I was writing this down, I saw Pliskova and I was like, man, I love that girl. Carla said I needed scented Depends.
What?
You said I needed scented Depends.
For what?
You said it last night.
I
wrote it right here.
Well, you said my knee. I said, do you need me to bring you diapers? I said...
Scented Depends?
I said anything. What you need?
I said Pliskova's hot, and she said I need scented Depends. How does that make any sense? Okay, she also then said my taste in women is weird. Who's sitting next to me? Who's the mother of my kids?
I said...
How's my taste in women weird when you're
right
right here?
Weird. I said, how did you pick me going from Pliskova to me? Because we are completely two different, opposite, different.
I think
how does that even go Pliskova to Carla? Pliskova to Carla, it's like Djokovic to
Sonego?
Rublev.
Okay. Pale versus beast. Okay. What I'm saying is
yeah, no.
how is my taste?
He says it means you're going old and blind, Justin. Wildlife said that.
Okay, I have thick contacts. He could be right. Wildlife is onto something here. Love you, bro. Look, I don't know what it is about Pliskova, but she's always captivated me. Maybe it's her tattoo. I don't know. But I don't understand how the Dragon Slayer over here, that's Carla. Triple L, the Latin lascivious lover. That's the Triple L. I don't see how the Dragon Slayer, Latin lascivious lover, Triple L coming. I don't see how you tell me Pliskova is weird.
She has no emotions. She looks the same. When you lose a point, at least I don't know, do what Djokovic does, but
No, Pliskova at one point rammed a racket against the umpire
to the
chair.
umpire.
Is that what you want?
No, I don't know. It just someone said another failure of Sasha Bajin. Yeah.
Good point. That's a great comment.
I
Who
like
said that?
this guy.
Don't just say someone said
This
it. That's
guy
a good
said,
comment.
"Can Pliskova and Svitolina please just leave the top 10? Just taking up space at this point."
Okay. Who said that one?
It's the same guy.
Okay, I
This
agree
guy.
with this one because Svitolina, in my opinion, has never deserved to be in the top 10. I get she's won matches and she's been consistent and so forth. But look, I'm going to tell you, and you can think
He
I'm
doesn't
crazy.
like her. No.
If Carla plays Svitolina right now, I'm not saying Carla will win, but it would be damn close. And that's a fact.
Oh, what's that? No, I'm too old.
Svit-
My shoulder hurts.
One set.
One set.
Yeah,
I give her.
2 out of 3 at 41, I get it, and 5 children. She's birthed 5 children. 5 children to come out of that thing. 5 children. I'm thinking if Svitolina, you and Svitolina played 1 set, I'm taking you as the favorite. I'm taking it. Maybe 2 out of 3, she'll be younger and outlast, but I don't think she can handle you in 1 set. I don't. I've seen you beat. Carla has beaten head coaches of major universities, and I won't name the universities because those universities might get really upset. But I'm going to say D1 universities, head coaches that have been ATP top 1,000, she's beaten. I watched it. Anyway, I don't see how, though, you call Pliskova weird. Another question.
He's overhyping me now. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, whatever.
No,
You come play her and see what happens. Look, I have a tough time. By the way, this is a question for everyone.
We can't post matches anymore. He's hurt. I wish we would have, I mean, there's like old videos of
There's
me,
old videos out
but
there.
I
If
just
you
had
just go to
little,
the channel and find them.
I just had little guy, and so I was,
Yeah, so there's some matches on this channel that we played, but when we were recording them, I had no idea, and I still really don't. I didn't put titles really good. I didn't know how to put hashtags. I didn't know how to put a description. But if you go to the channel and just start looking and go to the really old ones, you'll see them.
Yeah, Vika beat Svitolina with her back hurting, and I have pictures of her. You can see she's in excruciating pain and still beat her.
So I want to ask everybody a question. Please answer this question. So for about the past 2 weeks, my father has been begging Carla and I to do a video inside the next time it rains about how to train for tennis indoors when it rains. Okay. He seems to think if we do this video, it'll be the next best thing since sliced bread. Does anybody want to see Carla and I do a video inside showing different drills we can do with the ceiling above us and nothing but a racket and a ball, or 2 people and a racket and a ball, at ways you can get better at the game of tennis inside in a small space? Does anyone care about that? Because I'm arguing with him that we've done videos like this before that support education and involve kids and so forth, and no one cares.
Someone said no, the other person said zzz.
Exactly. Thank you. I agree with you. Please let my dad know about that because I agree with you.
This guy said maybe not.
I agree with you.
While I said I want to see a TikTok dance.
I agree with you. I'm with you. Tired of hearing about it. I'm not going to do the video because it's worthless.
I want Justin to defeat Carla in an indoors match.
Well, I would do that.
Actually, him and I are going to play doubles together.
Yeah, we're on a mixed doubles team. We just signed up for it.
It's not mixed doubles. It's actually all guys.
Oh, so she's on the men's team.
I'm on the men's team.
Let's go. All right, next topic, and then we're going to wrap it up. Eugenie Bouchard. Woo! 2014 Wimbledon finalist that hasn't done anything since.
He can beat me in table tennis, hands down.
Oh, I'll come to play in table tennis. And I think we get wrapped up in the times that I think in our singles matches, since I've been in my 40s with a limping knee, I think you've had your way. But for a while there, I think our matches are pretty competitive. Eugenie Bouchard, by the way, got her biggest endorsement contract ever recently from New Balance after Nike drops her. Then Eugenie Bouchard gets beaten by Sasnovich, the Belarus player, good player in her own right, 7-6, 6-2 in Lyon. And Eugenie Bouchard did not even qualify for the Australian Open. What the hell is New Balance thinking? I get what Nike is thinking. Nike has always been a brand that pays the athlete in terms of sponsorship for what they're doing on the battlefield. Okay,
Undeserved
LeBron
sponsorship,
James.
yes.
In other words, we're going to pay you for if you're winning, but if you're not winning, don't be scared if we drop you. That type of thing, right? Just do it, right? That's their motto.
Mhm.
So I guess New Balance, Carla, correct me if I'm wrong, just pays her for Instagram success and showing her thong and her awful body and her I won't say that, her awful body on Instagram. So New Balance gives her millions of dollars in endorsements for what?
I don't know.
Is she a great player now?
They should have just given the New Balance to
Somebody else.
Like gone to Miami and just pick one of those million girls that are beautiful and just say, here, just wear our dress. And they could have sold it. I mean, they could have done the same job as better than Bouchard. There's a million, I mean, not million. There's many tennis players that are way better than her that deserve the sponsor. It's just, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, she doesn't even look like Anna Kournikova.
And
She's not even a Maria Sharapova. She's not even a Ivanovic.
I
mean, Kerber looks.
Eugenie Bouchard isn't even attractive.
Mm-mm.
She looks like a twig or a toothpick. She doesn't have calves. She doesn't. I'm not going to talk about women down here because I think that's demeaning.
No,
but
it's
Eugenie
not
Bouchard is not an attractive player.
The way that it's not the way
She's
that
not attractive.
Looks. It's not the way that she looks. She doesn't deserve the sponsorship. That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, what is that saying about New Balance? That New Balance will just sign anybody up because they're showing their ass on Instagram?
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Yeah.
Let's take some comments.
Clijsters returns to Miami.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Muguruza beats Sabalenka.
You're going to rub that in, aren't you?
Yeah.
Look,
So I put here, look, I said, Keys lost. Okay, so I put Pliskova is to Keys. Keys is to Slitovina. I put a whole bunch of people here that will never win. I'm sorry. Sabalenka's to Pliskova. Pliskova is to Keys. Keys is to Slitovina. They're all the same type
I still
of
think
player.
Pliskova is better than all of them. I think she has a mental thing that she must overcome before she gets too old, because then she will not have a chance. And she still has one now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, take some comments and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, because I have to go look for this UPS. Oh, I saw Londeros has coronavirus, so he's out.
Who cares?
Who cares? Good match. Pagula against Kvitova. You guys should watch that match. And I think Muguruza plays Azarenka if her back is good. Not sure.
All right, any comments you want to take? Any parting words? Let's go.
Will Clijsters do anything?
That's it. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Go
If
ahead.
she got in shape, she can. Because it's the field is always unpredictable, right?
We've done the show for 3 years. We've covered two Kim
I don't
Clijsters
think
comebacks.
that she will. No.
We've covered
Not this time.
two Kim Clijsters comebacks. One, she came back, but it never really happened because she got injured again. Then she came back again, and she had a double chin. That should be like a rap song. Kim Clijsters came back. Nothing really happened. She got a double chin, and then that's what happened. Let's go. Let's go.
That was the worst rap.
Yeah. Anyway, she's not gonna do anything with that double chin. She's got to do something.
Spencer, sadly, it works as people will buy stuff because it's endorsed by a famous person. Just look at the Kardashian women who made a fortune out of being on TV and making overpriced cosmetics.
That's a great comment. If anything, she's just gonna get injured.
Carteri said, I wish people stay retired when they retired.
Yeah.
Jesus says the best that can happen to the big three was to be raised in the different eras. Yeah, but unfortunately they were all in the same.
And that's a great comment too, though, because he's right. The big three era, if it would have been one in one era, one in another, I mean, you're going to have guys with like 30, 40 majors or some crazy number, right?
Yeah,
but because they were all stacked together.
Tsitsipas and Hurkacz was a good match. 3 sets. Tsitsipas won that. Ivanovic would have had a chance to win a Grand Slam if she came back. No.
Who said that though?
Milan.
Milan.
She retired because after she won the French Open, her career just went.
Milan, Anna Ivanovic. We talked earlier in the show about who are some of our favorite male and female players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You should come through this camera and punch me in the face because Anna Ivanovic should have been on that list. I get she only won one major and was done, but Anna Ivanovic to me is one of the most classy.
She was classy.
One of the most beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most appealing people to watch and to follow
Mm-hmm.
that I've ever seen in the game. Thank you for that comment,
Yes, that's
because
very true.
I should be punched in the face.
I can punch you.
No, don't do that.
Okay.
That
No,
hurts.
just kidding.
Yeah, that hurts.
I've
me.
never punched someone in the face.
But Anna Ivanovic deserves to be in that list. I get she doesn't have 24 majors or
Yeah,
21.
I felt like the French Open
should
kind
be
of
there.
just like ruined her tennis career.
Well, she got what she wanted and proved her point and moved on to be.
No, she
is she
tried.
a mother? Is she a mother
She's
now?
definitely a mother.
So she's a mother. She's married and good for her. And she has a very lucky husband and a very grateful Serbia. Ana Ivanovic, and I'm very apologetic to all the Serbian viewers out there. They take up 10% of our viewers. That's a lot. Number 2 behind the United States. So our viewers, number 1 is the US at like 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Serbia is 10% behind it, and everyone else is down around like 0.8, 0.9%. So I apologize to all the Serbian viewers for not mentioning Ivanovic there. Thank you, Milan, for bringing her up. I should be punched in the face severely.
All right, William Spencer says, state of current tennis. Rumor has it Margaret Court is ready for return.
That's funny.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right,
like
guys.
2:19, and I gotta go teach,
yeah.
and I gotta go find a UPS.
So yeah, we had Thursdays. Not usually we have a high school match that we coach or
Next week
work
will
with the
be
team, and we didn't have it on Thursday. So generally we cancel our afternoon lessons on a Thursday, and then we go work with the team and then come back. But the high school tournament didn't happen today, so we have lessons this afternoon. So we'll go out to do that. But thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, everyone. And if not, it's no big deal. But it sure is a plus. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Adios.
See ya.